Welcome to the Painting of the Week podcast, where we look at some of the most significant paintings throughout history. Introducing your hosts, Phil Grabsky and Laura Bentham.
Good afternoon and welcome to this week's Painting of the Week. I'm here with Laura, and I have to begin by saying that I have an enormous desk. And despite that, Laura has her notes both on the desk and on the floor. She has so many. Anyway, we're both lovers of the Tour de France, certainly at least when it's clean. I adore it and have had the pleasure to see the Tour whiz past me, 3 or 4 times in France, and indeed once in Florence in Italy and once just down the road in Brighton. Now, Laura, you love cycling because, you love cycling anyway, perhaps, but your husband, Matt, now runs a superb bike repair and resale
and
service.
Everything. But this has only come from, which is what I was saying to you the other day, me and Matt used to be mountain bikers.
Yes.
And Matt, for whatever reason, had to change his whole career in COVID and ended up doing this for something he's always loved. And so, I'm involved. And the more he does it, the more I love the road bikes.
Yeah.
And all the engineering, the beautiful parts that come with it, the lightness of them. And this year, because we've got to know a few people, we decided to train ourselves to learn all about the Tour de France. And now me and you are talking about it.
I have also to say, I think my bike is probably my favourite object that I own. It's so beautiful.
So nice. Mm-hmm.
And it's not wildly expensive. Anyway.
Yeah, but if you love a bike, you love a bike.
So, love the Tour, love bikes, and we love art. And therefore, we thought, can we put all three things together? And the answer is yes. And you, rather brilliantly, came across a painting by Toulouse-Lautrec.
Yes.
Now, Toulouse-Lautrec is an artist that we haven't done an exhibition on screen on, but we did do as one of our great artists. And I have been to his gallery, see a lot of his works in Aix. In fact, funnily enough, we were in Aix-en-Provence because the tour was coming through, and we went to the gallery of Toulouse-Lautrec. And I've seen Toulouse-Lautrec in many exhibitions. Fascinating artist, obviously end of the 19th century in Paris.
I think that's what I've always said to you as well, though, because I think how many podcasts we've done, 80 some odd, and how many times I've said to you, can we do Toulouse-Lautrec? Because all my childhood, I was surrounded by those posters, which is why you're always drawn to an artist.
So what posters?
All those.
Sorry, let me stop everybody.
Moulin Rouge and.
Let me stop by saying to look at the picture. Of course, for those of you who don't know, who maybe are listening to the podcast for the first time, and this is the 80th plus podcast, but please go to 7th-art.com, press on the podcast button, and you'll see the picture we're talking about, or visit our YouTube channel. And then you can see La Chaîne Simpson by Toulouse-Lautrec. Sorry, you were saying
that's all. Because this whole podcast today is going to have connections in every way for us. Because we've talked before about how you're quite often drawn to the paintings that you've brought up with and you were surrounded by if you were as a child. If you had those on the wall. Sometimes it could be just anything, just a small poster that, some people may not have been able to afford paintings or pictures and cut things out.
So what posters do you remember?
She just loved Toulouse-Lautrec. She had all those Moulin Rouge ones. But Jane Avril, always remember that one. It was always the Can-Can. I was just sort of seemed to be surrounded by them. So, and annoyingly, I can't ask my mum why she loved him so much. So, but I just know that was my mum and dad's thing. They were on the walls, kind of fitted in their house, a sort of 1970s sort of style, I think, at the time, maybe, which is maybe why a lot of people like them.
I know that Ali, who is one of the 3 film directors that does the exhibition on screen films, with myself and David Bigstaff. She absolutely loves Toulouse-Lautrec.
Oh, that's nice to know.
Toulouse-Lautrec, it's an extraordinary life, isn't it, actually? I mean, in only, 36 years, he dies quite young. I mean, he's everything. Painter, does the posters, as you say, so a printmaker, illustrator, knew all the other impressionists. Used to hang out with Cézanne and Van Gogh and Gauguin and Huret, and
I think he was quite well liked, wasn't he?
Yeah.
In Paris on the sort of scene.
I think so.
First poster boy.
You were explaining why, because he's a diminutive character.
Yeah, but it's not dwarfism that he suffered from, though. They're saying because his parents were cousins, that he had some problems with his bones, and therefore I think when he was young he fell and broke both his legs, which didn't heal properly. So he was actually about 5 foot tall, but was always ridiculed because of his height, and also because he had sort of a very large torso but just very small legs because they just didn't grow.
Because they've been broken.
But
I mean, I know he came from a relatively decent background, and I know the area around Toulouse quite well, and funnily enough, Toulouse-Lautrec. But that's his part of the world too. But obviously, what we're looking at is his time in Paris.
Is that where his exhibition, his sort of gallery
is?
It was.
I'm sure, it was in Aix. I'm sure it was in Aix in Provence that I saw the exhibition.
I might have to cycle down there.
I think his parents separated, so maybe with a nanny. But he was drawing from a very young age, and clearly, was prodigious and talented, and made his way to Paris.
There's just a lot of life in his pictures. I think, and the colours.
I mean, I think a fairly significant moment in his life is when he's commissioned to do these posters for the Moulin Rouge. I remember when we were making the film about him, we filmed in the Moulin Rouge, and it was a very entertaining evening. I think I mentioned this before. The cameraman, we went after dinner, and I probably should have said to the cameraman, no drinking before, as we haven't finished shooting.
Oh. Okay.
But he couldn't help himself but giggle, because it was quite a giggle watching the Moulin Rouge. But I mean, for an artist, it must have been tremendously exciting to do those kind of posters, and obviously made his name.
Is that the artist you were filming, or
we were making a great artists film about Toulouse-Lautrec.
Oh, that's great.
And if you've been to Paris, there are those cylindrical what would you call them? Stands in the street, onto which people would glue posters. So his posters were, shown everywhere, and they're artworks in themselves. And he became known in the nightclubs and the brothels and cafe concert, all that kind of stuff. He liked his wines, and he perhaps had a bit of a reputation. Maybe he even was an alcoholic.
Well, I think he was, to be fair. Yeah.
But
I think he liked his cooking as well.
Liked his cooking.
I think he's written a book. I might put it on my Christmas list. The Art of Cuisine, which is one of those funny cookbooks that you probably never cook a single thing from, but has got lots of his drawings.
Well, there you go. So The Art of Cuisine by Toulouse-Lautrec.
It's on my Christmas list.
And I'm looking forward to an invitation to one of those recipes. So I
don't think so.
So describe this.
This the poster we picked was because
this is
we were looking for a
poster
poster or something with a bike in it.
Okay, so this is the poster.
And it ended up being commissioned for a new bike chain that was made, which was the Simpson chain, which revolutionised bike riding because initially I believe that it was one of the first times that two wheels became equal, and then obviously it improved the leverage between the chain and the wheel. They're quite good to look at, actually, if anyone wants to look them up. But they're not like the chains now. They really have got a prominent zigzag on them. They're quite interesting, of which I don't know the technicals and the technical thing about it. However, with him, Mr. Simpson was very, very sure that these were going to transform everyone's speeds and everything else. And so, apparently, over in London, Catford was the time to be at the Vélodrome down there, and he started all these races, which were the first ones with kind of paces in them.
Okay,
which is where we then got our link to the Tour de France.
So, at the end of the 19th century, in 1800s, there are bike races.
Yeah, and there's a bit of a boom.
So we're looking. So this is a picture of a bike race.
This one will be in Paris.
So this is in Paris.
Yeah, because there was a bike 1896, and the cyclists were becoming superstars.
Okay, so we have, when we look at the picture closely, we've got a single cyclist.
Yeah.
We seem to have what looks like a tandem. We can't quite tell.
No.
But there's something like that on the right hand side.
Yeah.
You got a couple of people in their fine suits and hats. You got a band playing. And then round the track, you then over the other side see a bike with 4 people on it.
Yeah.
And a bike with 5 people on it, neither of which I've ever seen.
No.
So is that realistic? Or
well, I think it started off as a good idea, because if you were pacing one of those, you would have been really pulled along with the slipstream on it.
But there must have been bike rides with 4 and 5 people in, presumably.
But they were crashing out all the time, those bikes, because they were just breaking up all the time, I think. So, yeah. So the main person in this is the French cyclist, who's the main person in the...
Oh, so that's a known cyclist.
Yeah. Constance Huret.
Constance Huret, okay.
And he's a French cyclist, probably a superstar at the time.
That's why he's got the the French flag on his back there.
See, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
There we are. Well, that's interesting. But it's funny how all the others are in these either tandems or 4, which was quads, 5, which was quints, and I've never ever seen that.
But this is an ad then, because that also looks like a single geared bike, which must have been, I suppose on the flat it's not so bad, or maybe it's a couple of gears. But this Simpson chain
is what is advertising.
Has something which they're claiming gives you extra power.
Yeah, leverage and power. Yeah.
So, with the same wattage as we would describe it now, you're getting more acceleration and maintained speed. You can see that the shoes are not cleated as they are now. They kind of got toe straps. Dropped handlebars, that hasn't changed much. Not seeing much in the way of brakes. It's just basically flat out.
On the Vélodrome, do you have brakes on it?
You'd never use them, would you? Actually,
I don't know whether they do.
I think actually you're right. I don't think they do they? I mean, I watched...
Never ride. Have you ever ridden one without?
No, but I watched... you can go up to the Olympic Vélodrome in London and hire it and go around that steep wooden indoor slope. But you're right, there's basically... They're on it, there's no brakes, you're right. It's quite interesting watching the Tour de France the other day when there was a time trial which went uphill, and some of them had stripped the bikes down. They had bikes that weren't even painted.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Had no bike tape on them, and basically just trying to get. This is why they're throwing their bottles away all the time, because they just don't. Right at the end, they want to be as lightweight as possible. It's quite. I mean, can you imagine that? I mean, bike tape around a handle must weigh up. Well, the paint must weigh absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Mind you, having said that, there was a time when I think it was United Airlines were flying their planes without paint, and they expressed how much money they saved in fuel by keeping the weight down.
Okay.
But it's it's extraordinary. Anyway, I want to ask about, for those of you who are looking at this picture a little bit carefully, there is a cyclist just in front of, what do you say, Constant Huret.
Yeah.
By the way, I noticed you printed out the picture off the internet. No, but off the internet. But it's interesting because it's signed, it's accredited to Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec, that's right, La Chaîne Simpson, that's correct. 1850 to 1900, which is not he's 1864 to 1901. Just goes to show, kind of, you've got to be so careful with the internet. It's just full of nonsense. Somebody couldn't be bothered to work it out, just guessed. Anyway, so somebody's looking behind, looking back at the other cyclist, maybe a bit worried about being overtaken. Seems to me to be a woman.
Yeah.
And you know who that is.
Well, only because I looked her up, and it was a Dutch lady.
No, Belgium.
Sorry.
Belgium. I know that much.
Belgium lady. And Helene Dutrieu, who, funnily enough, was a dark-haired lady. And I believe that cyclist was, but that's one of the little tiny things about the painting that apparently Toulouse liked to mess around with his colours. But she, at the time, was pretty much one of the only women cyclists. And, and she, there was obviously none. And it was actually, they didn't, one stage, she got accused of being in all sorts of bother because she wasn't wearing her corset and things like that. But anyway, she went on, she was an extraordinary woman. She went on to fly planes. She was in the war. She was unbelievable. And it was funny that he included her in that cycle.
Well, she must have been so
advert
famous
that he decided to put her in.
I mean,
it's quite good
it's
that
also,
he did. I don't mean no doubt. She might not have been there.
But I mean, but what we're getting the sense of is that cycling 150 years ago, or 130 years ago, was very popular, and popular with women as well as men. I mean, she had, because when you mentioned her, I did look her up. She had like the record for the most distance in an hour. She had all sorts of records as a cyclist before she started doing, circus tricks. Like she shot herself out 15 meters on a bike, and she did also. I mean, and then flying planes, and then driving an ambulance in the war, and I mean, most amazing life. Look her up. Helene Dutrieu, IEU. If I made if I made feature films about people, I would make a film about her.
I think that's what's so lovely about doing this podcast. We were just messing around, let's do the Tour de France. The next minute we're on Toulouse-Lautrec, and then when we looked at that, we picked that one because there was a bike in it. The next minute there's this woman in there. When you start looking at that poster, and then you're off down a completely different route, a whole new story.
She did she did in Buxton, England. So I know that town.
Oh yeah.
She did an air show where she would fly people around. I mean, it's just amazing.
It is amazing.
So he's put her in there.
Yeah.
She's obviously using the La Chaîne Simpson.
Oh yes, you can see it. I hadn't even noticed that myself.
Can't quite see how that's going to be, how it works exactly, but
no, I think
he
was quite confident with it.
And you said this was at the Paris Vélodrome.
This one was.
I wonder if that's in the Bois de Boulogne. I don't know. Now, Brighton, literally, 1 mile from where we're sitting.
Good old Brighton.
Has the oldest continually used velodrome in the country.
It's too good.
Which our council finds very hard. I mean, it's tatty. It's got a building next to it which is used by the cricket club, which needs a lick of paint.
Yeah.
It's a shame. Next to it is Preston Manor.
Yeah.
And inside it's pretty nice, but outside it's deteriorating, and the shutters just wouldn't be like that in France. They wouldn't let a building deteriorate in that way. And
They wouldn't let the Vélodrome go either, would they?
And the Vélodrome would be much nicer, and the building would be painted, and the wood wouldn't be rotting. And
But it does get used, that Vélodrome. It's busy.
it's great, the Vélodrome. It gets used by the cricket club and by cyclists.
Yeah. No.
And as I say, it's the oldest. It's an odd distance too. It's 580 metres.
In my naivety, when I first heard that, I thought all velodromes had to be the same size. That's how.
No, I guess not.
But you're right about you can go up to the Olympic one, because it is actually gorgeous up there, and that's where we, funnily enough, go up for the shows and things.
But
yeah,
just looking at the artwork, I mean, it's. I don't think the printout probably reflects. I'm sure that originally this was the oranges were brighter oranges and the yellows were brighter yellows, and would have been very colourful. Again, consciously or unconsciously, he knows that yellows and oranges are going to snap out at you as you're walking down a Parisian street, and there's probably quite a lot of blacks and greys around for whatever reason, greens, trees. You see something yellow, bang, straight out. Matisse used a lot of yellow. I mean, yellows are. I mean, license plates in the United Kingdom are supposed to be yellow because it's the colour that you see quickest.
Yeah, it's funny.
Or you're most aware of, and even the face, and the hair, everything is just predominantly yellow, isn't it? It's an advertising poster, but it's full of life. And I mean, I almost wish I could. I would love to commission Toulouse-Lautrec to do one of our film posters. Because although it's slightly naive in one sense, it's just full of movement, and you look top left, those cyclists, the four in the front.
Yeah.
I don't know where they're going, but they're not going round the track. They're going off to the right, basically knocking the other guys off. But it doesn't matter. It's brilliant. And then you've got the band, who there's just 5 or 6 of them doing that umpa in the middle. You
can hear that band, can't you?
You can hear the band.
Yeah.
The two guys kind of look at their suits, big pockets.
Yeah.
They're very happy with themselves, aren't they?
Because they're in the advertising for this whole chain thing. I mean, I don't know whether it was that successful, because I've tried to see. There's nothing now, anything like this. So they've obviously completely modernised it now. But Toulouse didn't. 1901 he died. And the Tour de France didn't start till 1903.
Oh, just afterwards.
So he didn't see that. But I was wondering, because apparently wasn't the Tour de France started because it was trying to advertise newspapers. There was a newspaper called L'Auto, and they wanted to up their the sales. And so they decided to do crazy race around France to up their publication.
Okay. Well, I mean, there had been, long distance cycle races were not unknown. Paris-Roubaix is still a race to this day. And which happens before the Tour, and it was often a way of people seeing how they're getting on. It's famous. It's got cobblestones and it's rough old terrain. That began in the mid-1890s. So obviously cycling is and I'm sure people were doing long-distance cycle rides.
Yeah. I think that the Tour de France is exceptional if people do. And I'm assuming people who are listening to this might not be particularly interested in it. But this year for me...
It's been brilliant.
I just can't stop watching it. And you think that you might have trained for something in your life that you might be successful at. If you were a violinist or something, you think, I'm going to be quite successful at this. But you've only got to have one knock.
Oh, and you're gone. I know. It's extraordinary. On the other hand, if you can win a stage, you've got that for the rest of your life.
It's just unbelievable.
But their fitness is... If I go down to do a spin class on a bike, I'm operating at about 210 watts to get a bit technical.
Yeah.
That's my base level. And maybe if I push it, it might hit 350 watts. These guys are jumping between 200 and 600. I mean, they're climbing up hills.
Yeah.
Today, actually, as we speak, they are climbing up Mont Ventoux, which I have cycled up. And
I was going to ask you that.
but I mean, I got up it. I was nervous, but actually I got up it. In fact, myself and my friends did this challenge. We had to go up. There's 3 different routes up, and you have to try and do them all in a day, which we did. It took us like 12 hours.
My God.
But I'm counting 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4. That's my feet. 1, 2, and you're just slogging your way up, and it's great. And these guys are like,
Yeah.
I mean, if you go onto Strava or something, you'll probably be able to see how quickly they go up. They are unbelievably fit. And
would you like to do? Have you done it where? Quite like the idea of it retiring. Obviously, I like the idea of that, and get a camper van, and doing that, going around and following a little camper van, cup of tea.
My friend's doing it right now, and they've had a lovely time.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun.
I've had another friend who's just went to Normandy. He said what was quite shocking was that these people are getting to their places on the hills or on the towards the end of a race 2 days before.
Oh, okay.
And all they're doing then, it's a bit of a contemporary blight, I suppose. All they're doing is drinking.
Oh, okay.
And in fact, I listened to a podcast yesterday from one of the cyclists on the tour right now who says, when you get into the big crowds towards the end of a race, you can just smell the alcohol. So it can get a bit rowdy.
Oh, the fans are crazy.
And you can get stuck for like 2 days, because once you get your place at the top of it,
Right.
you're not leaving. You can't leave.
No.
But tremendously exciting. I mean, to follow the tour would be great fun. And again, as I say, 2 of my friends together, they're doing the beginning and the end of the tour in their camper van.
Yeah, I love it.
Very exciting. But I mean, it doesn't have to be the tour. I mean, the Vuelta in Spain, the Giro in Italia.
I'm trying to think. We've got one here.
Yeah, we do, and it would be lovely. I mean, but sometimes they run into economic issues.
Okay. Because they did start doing a first leg of the Tour de France was it in different countries? Or?
They still do.
Oh, they do.
Last year they started in Florence.
So is that something that's recently happened, or?
Don't know.
Okay.
I mean, it's not in recent years. It's quite common. Like I said, 10 years ago, whatever, they started in England.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. So every year then it will go somewhere different to have that first leg then to generate that interest.
Well, because they get paid.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So Florence would have paid them to start it there.
Okay.
And this year, I don't know where it was this year. Was it where did it start this year? Can't remember. Terrible, you have to quickly forget.
It's always one of those things that could end up being a victim of its own success, do you think? Might just get too big. Oh,
It's certainly there's a lot of money involved. I mean, I was looking the other day at what the actual riders get, compared to footballers. All right, so now some of the riders are well paid, but that's because of the sponsorship deals. The actual prize money isn't huge.
No.
Britain's tour is normally in September.
Oh, okay.
But it's only a week. This one is, Tour de France is 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But what's also, we're talking about the male Tour de France. The female Tour de France is also fantastic. At the moment, that's only 2 weeks long, but they are thinking of extending it.
Okay.
And there's probably more, in a way, at the moment, because we have one rider that's dominating the male Tour de France.
Yeah.
The female Tour de France is kind of more interesting, because it's,
I need to look at that then. Is that after
yeah.
this one? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely going to look at that. I mean, this whole week, when we decided to do this, has just been like, I can't even believe that even just that one poster has taken us off all these different routes. The chain, Helena, definitely got to look at her up. She's so amazing. And now we're on.
But I think where we should leave people is
yes.
is with Toulouse-Lautrec as an artist.
Yes, please do.
So, I mean,
I love him.
I don't think we'll be doing an exhibition on screen on him in the near future, but if there is an exhibition, he's definitely worth going to, or just look him up online or wherever. Go and buy a book, better, or go and see the paintings in galleries around the world. He is tremendous.
Do you think it would just not make a good film for the cinema? Just have to be on the TV.
No, I think
that
it,
why you
no,
wouldn't
it's not that. It's
necessarily-
just
yeah.
need, if there's a big exhibition, we'll look at it. But
Okay.
I'm not aware of any kind of major exhibition.
Right. Yeah.
And we've done a lot on this period. And we got Bert Morisot coming next year. That's another impressionist. Anyway,
Okay.
fascinating, I think, and I think my takeaway is both how interesting a life and an artist Toulouse-Lautrec is, but also Helene Dutrieu.
Yes.
What a woman. And she lived into her early 80s, dies in Paris. I think she took French nationality in the end. But if you wanted a model for someone who was absolutely afraid of nothing, it would seem, she's your woman. So, thank you, Laura. And that's this week's Painting of the Week. And do please go to 7th-art.com, have a look around the shop, sign up to the newsletter. We have a new film coming out in a few days' time that's going to be available for streaming and downloading, which you'd be interested in. And please, 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 if you enjoy the podcasts, do recommend us to some friends, family, work colleagues, so we can, just bring art to as many people as possible. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Painting of the Week podcast. For more information, please visit our website at 7th-art.com or contact us by emailing info@7th-art.com. See you next time.